It is Wednesday, the 9th of July, 2025. And yes, we're back for a second attempt at this. This is things you might have heard, the newer, fresher, deffer, more pithy edition. Hopefully it will stay that way. I'm Jake Payne, bringing you some news stories that you deem conversational in the social medias and some things that popped up as breaking news, including breaking news with the number of deaths or number of missing that is still being counted in the Texas floods. Also the end of the Philly trash strike, and Superman has a identity crisis issue. Just with Fox News. 3 stories, 8 total for you this morning. We'll remind you right now, our website at home is This Conversation Project, building it back up to full strength so you get all the features there as well. And of course, our spotlight sponsor is Ground News. Get 40% off the Vantage plan and other plans. This is an affiliate link, so if you buy from them, we get a small commission back and you get great news from them. We'll explain them towards the end of the program. As we said, we have 8 stories. Let's start off with story number 1, and it's pretty simple. 160 still missing in the Texas floods as officials are vowing to keep the search going. This is not a recovery effort yet. It's still a rescue mission, but they have 160 people who have been listed right now as officially missing or can't be accounted for in the issue. The death total is about 100 or so. 103, I think, is the official number at this point. So concerns about more bodies being found is what's really out there going forward. But officials insist the search will not end until every missing person is located, dead or alive. It is a search effort. It is not a recovery effort. And that's what they're spouting right now. District 33 in Philadelphia has reached a tentative contract agreement with the city, and it ends the crippling strike that has trash on the streets for this going on 2 weeks now. Philadelphia largest municipal union, which is District Council 33, reached a tentative contract agreement with the city late last night, effectively ending the disruptive strike that halted sanitation and other public services. Now, the actual union covers a wide spread of folks, including city hall workers and folks that just push paper all day long. But people who pick up the paper and the trash and put it to the dumpsters for about 2 weeks have not been working. They've let out big dumpsters in many neighborhoods so people can accumulate stuff, and that hasn't helped. The stench, the look, the whole thing is terrible. And now it will be less terrible fairly soon. We'll get more details of what happened, but there'll be wage increases, health benefits, job security measures, things like that to make the union leaders feel better about the progress for their members. We'll get details later on the day, and we'll probably update that with a hot take as we can. But right now, we can announce that as of a few hours of us recording this at 6 a.m. right now, the deal is tentative. Hopefully it sticks, and the stench can be wafted away. A federal judge recommends the case move forward against Wisconsin's Hannah Dugan. The Milwaukee Circuit Court judge, Hannah Dugan, is going to have to deal with the case as a U.S. magistrate says, keep it going. Push the corruption case against Ms. Dugan going forward. Accused of financial misconduct and alleged misuse of judicial resources and personal gain, this is actually different from being pulled over for helping a actual person who was being deported in process escape deportation. Didn't escape, but that's there. But this is essentially the overkill, the unintended consequences, the extra stuff to actually put her away. Essentially saying that she's a bad judge because Trump says she's a bad judge. So the legal team is claiming that the charges are politically motivated, intent to seek dismissal of those charges. The one thing they have to deal with, of course, is I let the prisoner go. But this one's a totally separate charge that they're trying to get unrelatedly released. We'll see how well it works for Dugan and Milwaukee and all of us. Real estate investors are taking larger shares of U.S. homes as affordability crisis gets bigger and bigger. Homes are hard to buy. Interest rates are pretty crazy. Getting a home, a new one, or a house that's already there or a development that's open, it's getting hard. So what are they doing about it? People with extra cash are buying up those houses and developing them and renting them out and fixing them up to add extra prices, try to flip it for higher costs. Essentially, investors are using it for the real estate actual investment and extra high rents right now, as opposed to getting people into their homes to get their equity. This is particularly happening in the Sun Belt, basically where I live, where I'm actually having an issue right now selling a house. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But the trend is pricing out first-time buyers, which is the issue. People who are coming up with their first mortgages, their starter homes, getting into the process on smaller deals that makes them feel like they are in the American dream, can't get that smaller house because developers are buying them up, doing little tweaks to them, and then renting them out for way more than what you get for the actual mortgage cost because you can. According to new data, investor-owned properties are now account for more than 1 in 4 homes across the regions, specifically right here in the Sun Belt. And critics saying corporate landlords are driving up the rent of course, exploiting the weak regulatory environment as it goes. And let's not even talk about Airbnb stuff. That's a whole nother ball of wax on top of that ball of wax right now. Housing is terrible right now, and the issue is people with money are buying them up, raising up the rent, and making it harder for people to buy brand new starter homes. Like, share, and subscribe to the work we do on the Conversation Project here on the YouTube, where this is living now. We lost the ability to do the streaming live to Facebook and to X right now. So you basically get to see these on the replays inside of the re-airings or on the website. So we'll do our best to make sure the videos get up there. But like, share, and subscribe to what we do so we get more people involved in wherever you're on. YouTube is our more or less unofficial gauge. We're at 2,283, I believe, current subscribers. Trying to get that even to 300, and of course doubling it from 2,000 to 4,000, by the end of this year. Not on pace for that, but we're going to do our best for that one and see how progress goes. The more people involved, more people following, subscribe, the more people I can get on the ad revenue. Therefore, I can ask for less money from you directly. If you like and share this share it with people who are like-minded and like it in the algorithms, they'll see it, and hopefully we'll like and share it with more folks as well. It's simple. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of news coverage and the commentary. I know there's less of it since we're doing this quick thing, but we have commentary in the hot takes. We have longer commentaries that people are enjoying. We'll do some other things that are conversational coming soon. Prime Day has always been basically 2 days, as far as I can remember. Prime Day is essentially an extension of a Black Friday deal. It's always been basically a 2-day extravaganza, but they always called it Prime Day. Actually, I think they called it Prime Day, and then when he went to 2, they called it Prime Days and went back to the name Prime Day because it's Prime Day. But guess what? The annual sales event is going to be 4 days this July. Why, you ask? Well, I will tell you. Global tariff pressures and inflationary pricing is scaring people off, i.e. the next time they have a Prime Day, or maybe next week, things will cost so much more. They're extending the time on the low cost right now so you can get more stuff bought in there, make that revenue black now, Black Friday, you get the sort of thing, so that you have it in stock and ready to go before prices go up and people start to get scared. Household goods, electronics, personal tech, and are expected to see their steepest discounts for the next couple days, designed to give consumers more flexibility and cost due to the expected rising of import taxes. Here's the thing, though. If you don't have money now, you don't have money now. So buying it up now puts you in a bind because you're, the debt stuff. That's another issue as well. But it also, if you buy it later and it costs more, it's still an issue. You have to choose whether you're going to take that bullet now and get extra prime stuff you don't need, or take it later when you do need it and have an actual use for it, and it'll cost that much more. We have a CBS investigation which went into Instagram, and it found that they were running ads. The Instagram app was running ads for people that promoted sex work and escort services. Not just necessarily videos or the OF pages, but openly promoting sex work and escorts. Many posts were linked to the Telegram channels that offered explicit services and pricing from her directly. Now, Meta, the Instagram parent company, is claiming it is actively removing the content as quickly as possible and working with investigators to make sure policy violations aren't too terrible. But what's done is done. Critics say that the platform's ad revenue system basically remains easily exploitable for issues like this. Lawmakers are getting involved, calling for more oversight to these things, and of course keep an eye on social media. They do this all the time when something bad happens. They just don't know how to actually enforce it when it does. If you haven't figured out yet, it's kind of hot outside. Everywhere it's hot outside, and the heat waves around the world have caused issues with heat. One issue in particular is going to Greece, where this happens essentially about this time every year, where they start closing down some of their monuments, closing down some of their tourist attractions, things that are on people's bucket list, because they finally get there in the summer when they have free time, and the summer is just too terrible to deal with it. They have temporarily closed the Acropolis in Athens as temperatures surged to above 110 degrees Fahrenheit in that area, and that is bad. Tourists have been turned away at entry gates as emergency crews set up hydration stations throughout the city just so people can wander around. The decision follows a wave of heat-related hospitalizations among elderly and young visitors in the city and in Europe exactly. Other historic sites across the country are operating on reduced schedules. It's closing at midday or opening for some later time in the evening when it's dark, although it waits time to get dark because Climate scientists have warned of this. Extreme summer conditions are becoming Greece's new normal, and other places are seeing as well. So it gets hot. So what you can do in the daytime turns into basically find some AC, find some shade, sit in the pool all day long, and just enjoy what you can, because things you probably want to enjoy may not be all that safe right now. And finally, for this morning, Fox News is facing some backlash over some immigration themes it's seeing in the new version of Superman in his new movie. Some criticism for the heavy politicizing of immigration subplots in the new Superman film directed by James Gunn. James Gunn actually did a fairly long interview, a few of them actually, that went deep in detail to remind you that Superman's not so much an American-made thing, although he's an American-made character, and he was made to fight the Germans, but he is an alien. He's a person from another planet. He is literally an alien who has adopted the American ways. There's even a comic book, Elseworlds comic book from back in the day, where Superman, or Kal-El, landed in Russia. And that also was the first time they played Lex Luthor as the president, because I guess time was with him. And Superman was essentially the Red Guardian of the time, and he essentially exploited Soviet ways and Soviet themes because he was raised in the Soviet Union. Remember, Superman is a character made out of the thought process of two guys, and everything he does are plot devices. Everything he does are plot devices to keep you engaged. So pundits are actually suggesting the film contains some open border propaganda, and they're getting backlash among some viewers because, dude, it's Superman. Critics are accusing the network of misrepresenting the film's themes for cultural war clout because, dude, it's Superman. The new Superman feature is also talking about him aiding undocumented families during a border crisis. Dude, it's Superman. Gunn has not committed to the controversy directly, but like I said, he's talking about people deriding the film's narrative choices, reminding folks Superman is the American dream personified, an immigrant, a stranger from a strange land who comes to this world and adopts the American value and American way as his motto. And as we've seen in some of the clips, he does stuff to save the world because he believes in them as Superman and America, not so much representing the USA. Quick moment to talk about our spotlight sponsor, which is Ground News. This is an affiliate spot, so this is your ad spot. If you go to our website, this is theconversationproject.com/ground news, click on that link there, or go to the website, click on any of our affiliate links. We get a small commission for any of the sponsors you visit, so we appreciate that. Ground News is a great sponsor that we love enjoying. We could not do this workday without it. We check out Ground News a couple times a day as we see stories that look kind of wonky or look for things that we're missing to fill some holes in. Ground News offers up the most wide version of the news you can get by seeing everything, all of it, like a fire hose spent to you directly. What you get from Ground News is a perspective on a story, whether it's local, whether it's national, whether it's international, from all sides. You see what various other networks, various other channels, various other newspapers are doing to cover it, and you can gauge for yourself what you want to believe. You can read everybody's version of it. It'll tell you whether that article is leaning blue or red, conservative or liberal, or maybe it's more or less in the middle, and how the source actually does most of its actual reporting. And the blind spot feature allows you to go to a listing of stories that are being exclusively sold on the left or the right. I did it backwards. This is my left and this is my right. So you can see what stories that on the Fox News are showing a lot of, but not actually no one else is. And consequently, the MSNBCs are showing a lot of those, but the Fox Newses aren't. And you can gauge for what you want to and believe what you want to believe because you get all the sources. Our link for our affiliate commissions, which we get, and 40% off your subscriptions. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news. This has been Things You Might Not Have Heard for Wednesday, July the 9th, 2025. Thank you so much for being with us here on the quick show. It's different. It feels different. It's working different. We're going to see how it goes. Unfortunately, we can't get hot takes from this, so hot takes have been kind of hard to get into. Hopefully we can make that up with the headlines every so often. I can do it on my phone and just kind of drop those in there. And the ones we do get, hopefully they do engage with you on a longer scale going forward. That means you guys have to engage in this thing here more. We appreciate you doing that. In the meantime, love us by going to our feeds on Facebook and X. Facebook.com/This Is Conversation Project. X.com/TH_conversation. What you're going to see there is the news stories we post all day long, every 50 minutes to engage your engagement on the stories. We go through the ones that you guys seem to want to talk about, and we toss in ones that we think are important that may get missed based off the time of day or what's getting posted. That's how we do things around here. I guess that's how we're doing things around here for things you might have heard. So we'll see what goes on going forward. We'll probably, when life gets back into some semblance of order, we'll go back to a longer weekend edition where we can recap things a bit farther. But if you want to know what's happening with us, email us at the conversation inbox, gmail.com. Email me directly at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com and let us know what's happening. Visit our website and consider going to our partnerships page. We can use some partners to help us go through some things we're going with. And if you want more details on, what's happening, just ask. We'll give them to you. Thank you so much for joining us for this ride around the world of news. I am J. Cleveland Payne. This has been Things You Might Have Heard. This has been the Wednesday edition. Like I said, it's a day-by-day action. We'll see what happens for Thursday.